Doctors often talk about how certain foods can harm your heart, stomach, and liver, but what about your kidneys? It's important to think about how your habits might affect your kidneys because what you eat can be tough on them. Surprisingly, nearly 30 million people in the United States have a condition called chronic kidney disease. To take care of your kidneys, you should watch how much salt, potassium, and phosphorus you consume. Now, let's discuss some foods that can harm your kidneys. But first, let's understand why kidneys are so important. Kidneys are like little bean-shaped heroes inside your body. They have a super important job, filtering your blood, getting rid of waste through pee, making hormones, and keeping your minerals and fluids in check. Kidneys are crucial. There are many reasons why kidneys can have problems, but the most common ones are uncontrolled diabetes and high blood pressure. When your kidneys are not working well and can't clean your blood properly, bad stuff like waste and extra water can pile up inside your body. If you have kidney disease, you are at risk for high potassium because your kidneys cannot remove the extra potassium in your blood. Managing high potassium is important if you want to protect your heart. Having too much potassium in your blood can be dangerous. High potassium can even cause a heart attack or death. But don't worry, there's a way to help your kidneys work better and stop them from getting more sick. You can do this by eating the right kinds of foods and not eating some others. Now, let's talk about the foods that can harm your not-so-healthy kidneys. Keep in mind that this video is just for educational purposes, and if you have serious problems, it's always best to see your doctor. 1. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are a fruit that might not be the best choice for your kidneys because they have a lot of potassium. You can enjoy them fresh, in soups, or as a sauce, and they're pretty handy in the kitchen. But here's the thing, just 1 cup of tomato sauce can pack a whopping 728 milligrams of potassium. Tomatoes are used in many dishes, so you might want to look for a yummy, low potassium substitute. If you're thinking of spaghetti instead of tomato sauce, you can try roasted red pepper sauce, which has fewer calories but still tastes great. 2. Spinach. Isn't it surprising that the spinach that made Popeye strong could actually be a problem for people with kidney issues? This could be because of something called oxalates. Oxalates are found naturally in many foods, and they play a part in kidney stones, with about 80 of kidney stones being made of calcium oxalate. Now, if you've had kidney stones or want to avoid them, you should aim for about 40 to 50 milligrams of oxalates a day. Here's where spinach comes in. 1 serving of spinach packs around 100 milligrams of oxalates, which is quite a lot. Plus, spinach has a good amount of potassium, ranging from 136 to 290 milligrams per cup when it's fresh and uncooked. Even when you cook it, spinach may shrink in size, but it doesn't lose much potassium. So, if you cook it, a half cup of cooked spinach actually has more potassium than raw spinach. So, it might be a good idea to be mindful of your spinach intake if you're taking care of your kidneys. 3. Avocados. Avocado often gets a top spot on lists of healthy foods because it's loaded with good fats, fiber, and antioxidants. It's a real nutritional powerhouse. But here's the twist if you're dealing with kidney problems. As delicious as avocados are, you might want to steer clear of them. When you have kidney disease, keeping an eye on your potassium intake is super important. 4. Potatoes and sweet potatoes. When it comes to potassium from veggies, think about potatoes and sweet potatoes. A medium-sized baked potato holds about 610 milligrams of potassium, while a similarly sized baked sweet potato has a bit less, around 542 milligrams. But here's the good news. You can lower the potassium in these veggies by soaking or leaching them. Studies have shown that cooking potatoes, especially in cold water, can seriously cut down their potassium content. Soaking them for 5 to 10 minutes can reduce potassium by up to 20%, and this is called potassium leaching or the double cook method. Still, even after this double cooking trick, potatoes do have some potassium left, just not as much. So remember, even if you double cook them, it's important to be mindful of how many potatoes you munch on if you're keeping an eye on your potassium intake. 5. Pickles. It seems like pickle jars are a common sight in many households. But before you dive into an all-pickle diet, let's talk about your kidneys and focus on something important: steam 'em. For a healthy adult, the daily recommended salt intake ranges from 1,500 to 2,300 milligrams. Now, you might be wondering how much salt is in a single pickle. It's close to 1,200 milligrams. That's about 80% of what you should have in a whole day. Foods like pickles, processed olives, and relish are cured or pickled, and they tend to get a hefty dose of salt during the process. Eating too much salt can lead to problems like high blood pressure and kidney stones. So maybe hold off on that pickle jar if you're watching your sodium intake. 6. Whole wheat bread. People with kidney issues might wonder which bread is best for them. These days, it seems like any bread is better than white bread. Whole wheat bread is loaded with vitamins and minerals, and its extra fiber makes it seem healthier. But here's the twist. If you have kidney disease, white bread is usually the way to go. That's because it has less phosphorus and potassium. You see, the more bran and whole grains you have in bread, the more phosphorus and potassium it tends to have. A single slice of whole wheat bread can have about 75 milligrams of phosphorus and 69 milligrams of potassium. If you're making a sandwich, that's 150 milligrams of phosphorus and 138 milligrams of potassium, and that's before you even add the meat. Now compare that to regular white bread, which only has about 29 milligrams of phosphorus and potassium. So if you're looking out for your kidneys, white bread is the better choice. 7. Soda. Sodas, especially the dark-colored ones, contain chemicals with phosphorus along with a heap of calories and sugar. Now, our bodies do need phosphorus. It's crucial for building strong bones and teeth, even though it makes up just around 1% of our body weight. For a healthy adult, the recommended daily intake of phosphorus is between 800 to 1,200 milligrams. But here's the twist. Too much of this additive phosphorus can be bad for your health. In fact, a can of Coke can have somewhere between 50 and 100 milligrams of this artificial phosphorus. The tricky part is that your body can easily soak up this phosphorus from additives, unlike the phosphorus naturally found in food. That's because it's not bound to proteins, but rather present as a salt, so your body takes it in readily. You can often find phosphorus additives listed on product labels, but the exact amount used isn't always required to be shown to consumers. So, if you're a big soda drinker, it might be wise to be cautious about how much you consume. 8. Bananas. If you're dealing with chronic kidney disease, it's super important to cut down on your potassium intake. Remember, your kidney's main job is to filter your blood and get rid of waste through urine. Now, when it comes to potassium, the famous banana is the big player in the game. A single banana packs around 422 milligrams of potassium. And since bananas are low in calories and taste great, people often eat more than one at a time. If you're managing kidney disease, you should aim for a daily potassium intake of 1,500 to 2,700 to 2,700 milligrams. That means just one banana can give you between 15 and 28% of your daily potassium limit. So if you love bananas but need to cut back on potassium, it can be a bit of a challenge. But here's the good news. Pineapples are a tropical fruit with much less potassium compared to most others. They can be a healthy and tasty alternative if you need to watch your potassium intake. 9. Processed red meat. Processed meats have been considered not so healthy for a while, mainly because they're loaded with preservatives. When meats go through processes to preserve them, they become what we call processed meats. Now, the high amount of sodium in these meats is mostly there for taste and to keep them fresh. If you're munching on a lot of processed meat, it can be tough to keep your sodium intake below 2,300 milligrams a day. Processed meats also pack a protein punch. So, if you've been told to watch your protein intake, it's a good idea to cut back on processed meats. Here's a kicker. Folks with kidney disease who regularly ate processed red meat had 3 times the risk of kidney failure compared to those who had diets rich in fresh vegetables. So, when we say processed meats, we're talking about things like bacon, pepperoni, jerky, sausages, and hot dogs. They all fall into this category. Be mindful of these choices, especially if you're looking after your kidney. 10. Dairy. Dairy products are packed with vitamins, minerals, and natural protein. A cup of whole milk, for instance, has about 200 milligrams of phosphorus and 320 milligrams of potassium. However, if you're dealing with kidney disease, it's crucial to cut back on dairy and other foods rich in phosphorus, as they can harm your bones. It might be surprising given the common advice to consume dairy for strong bones and muscles, but too much phosphorus in your diet can lead to an excess in your blood, which can, in turn, strip calcium from your bones. Over time, this can result in bone loss and increase the risk of fractures, especially if your kidneys are compromised. Dairy products are also high in protein. A cup of whole milk contains nearly 8 grams of protein. To prevent a buildup of protein waste in your blood, you might need to limit your dairy intake. The good news is there are dairy alternatives like unenriched rice milk and almond milk, which can be great substitutes for cow's milk on a kidney-friendly diet. They have lower potassium, phosphorus, and protein content, which can be gentler on your kidneys. So if you need to cut back on dairy, these options can help. Now that we've covered what to avoid if you have kidney disease, let's focus on how to keep your kidneys healthy in the first place. These tried and true tips can help. Stay hydrated. While there's no fixed rule about drinking 8 glasses of water daily, using it as a target can remind you to stay well hydrated throughout the day. Your kidneys love a consistent intake of water because it helps flush out sodium and toxins. It also lowers the risk of chronic kidney disease. Aim to drink between 1.5 to 2 liters every day. Your specific water needs depend on factors like your climate, physical activity level, gender, overall health, and whether you're pregnant or breastfeeding. If you've had kidney stones in the past, increasing your fluid intake can help prevent new ones from forming. Control your blood sugar. High blood sugar levels, often associated with conditions like diabetes, can lead to kidney damage. When your cells can't effectively use the glucose or sugar in your blood, your kidneys have to work harder to filter it out. Over time, this extra strain can be harmful. But if you manage your blood sugar levels effectively, you can reduce the risk of complication. Early detection is key, as medical intervention can help limit or prevent further damage. Stay physically active. Regular exercise offers numerous benefits beyond just weight management. It can reduce the risk of developing chronic kidney disease, lower blood pressure, and improve heart health, all of which are crucial for kidney well-being. You don't have to run marathons. Even activities like walking, jogging, cycling, or dancing can be beneficial. Make it enjoyable so sticking to your fitness routine feels less like a struggle and more like a success. Maintain a healthy weight. Being overweight or obese increases the risk of several conditions that can harm your kidneys, such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and kidney disease. To lower your risk, focus on a well-balanced diet that includes fewer high-sodium and processed meat items. Opt for fresh produce, fruits, and naturally low-sodium foods like cauliflower, blueberries, salmon, and whole grains. Monitor your blood pressure. High blood pressure can damage your kidneys, especially when combined with other health issues like diabetes, heart disease, or high cholesterol. Lifestyle changes, dietary adjustments, and possibly medication can help lower your blood pressure. Regularly checking your blood pressure and discussing it with your doctor is important. Quit smoking. Smoking damages your blood vessels, leading to reduced blood flow to your kidneys and the rest of your body. It also increases the risk of kidney cancer. Quitting smoking can significantly reduce your risk, although it may take some time before your risk level matches that of someone who has never smoked